Greetings friends, I am Obsidian. Dom Studio released episode 35 of the Skibidi Toilet Multiverse, which is now considered as their best episode to date. Not only did we get some insane fight scenes, but we got the return of a well-loved character, and we had so much to unpack with regards to the secret scene. But before we get into today's video, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future analysis and theory videos. Also, give my video a like as it will help me, and it will be highly appreciated. It will also let me know that you enjoy my videos. Let's begin. The scene begins where we are already thrown into the action, and Titan Cameraman is using his gravity gun to stop the Reaniman toilets from getting close, and also punching them out of the way so they can't attack him. But one Reaniman toilet manages to jump on him, but gets thrown down just as quick like what happened in the Invincible animated TV show, with Omni-Man when he was attacked by these creatures. A few more attacks, and Titan Cameraman repels them to the best of his ability, and then steps forward and steps on one of the Reaniman toilets. But a whole attack begins against him, where Titan Cameraman is taken down, and the Reaniman toilets begin to try to tear him apart. But Titan Cameraman thinks big, and uses his jetpack to his advantage, to quickly fires his jetpack up, and begins to fly up towards the sky, and manages to get them off him, and he even blasts one Reaniman toilet off with laser cannon on his left arm. The Reaniman toilets land back on the ground, and decide to go towards upgraded Titan Clockman. We then see him spawn some kind of minigun, and he opens fire on some of them, which causes them to stop in time so he can get them to freeze. One of the Reaniman toilets manages to not get hit by the freezing minigun, and he gets close to upgraded Titan Clockman, but he quickly sends out two of his knives that fly around, and the next scene we see is one in the POV of that Reaniman toilet, where he sees the knife flying towards him, and then we come out of the POV, and watch as upgraded Titan Clockman's knife pierces the head of the Reaniman toilet, and he lands in front of upgraded Titan Clockman, who stomps on the head of the Reaniman toilet. The remaining Reaniman toilets that were paused are taken out by the other knife, but we soon go back to Titan Cameraman, who is still up in the air with a Reaniman toilet attached to him, but he throws him off as best he can to the ground. We then see a Reaniman toilet sneak behind Titan Cameraman and bite off his right shoulder minigun, and then Titan Cameraman grabs him and he dashes him to the ground too, but it seems like these two are relentless because Titan Cameraman is suddenly caught by his feet, but he uses his gravity gun to catch both of the Reaniman toilets and kills them in a crushing motion before dropping them off to the ground for once. However, as he does this, sadly it becomes too much for him as more Reaniman toilets spawn in, and they begin to get more aggressive and rip into Titan Cameraman, including his jetpack, and they bring him back down to the ground and continue the onslaught. We see them tearing off chunks of Titan Cameraman's armor, which is obviously causing great discomfort. We even see one vicious EMFer launch themselves and try to bite Titan Cameraman's camera off, but he ends up biting Titan Cameraman's lens off. Just as we think the scene is going to get worse and that Titan Cameraman might die, upgraded Titan Clockman looks up, and suddenly, we see someone land and make an all-familiar sound that we've not heard in quite a few episodes. The Reaniman toilets stop attacking Titan Cameraman, and they look up to where the sound came from, with upgraded Titan SPEAKERMAN staring back at them, and then we see Titan Cameraman look more withered than ever, but he is surely happy to see that his best bro is finally back. We get a good look at upgraded Titan SPEAKERMAN's new design, and we get to see Hom lower his arm cannons like a badass. His new design looks pretty damn sick. In fact, it's one of my favorite upgraded designs in this multiverse, alongside upgraded Titan Clockman. I kind of find the design to be somewhat similar to Verlance's Titan SPEAKERMAN, so maybe Dom Studio were a bit inspired by that version. However, this is mostly original, because he looks like he is all geared up with armor, his core looks so cool and different, he even has his old white accented shoulder speakers back, but they look even cooler, and his usual shoulder speakers are now equipped with blades, which makes this design look so epic. Not to mention the fact that he has two sets of shoulder speakers now. We see him have his early shoulder speakers and his last shoulder speakers, as they are both upgraded now, and we clearly see how effective they are in this episode. In short, bro looks majestic. I bet Titan Cameraman was very excited to see him back in action. Epic metal music begins to play as the Reaniman toilets begin to lunge forward, as does upgraded Titan SPEAKERMAN, who makes light work of the Reaniman toilets, and then starts to spin and hit them all with his guns. This reminds me of the original series in episode 70, where he flew up and spun like a Beyblade, and episode 58, where he did the same maneuver but with his hand cannons, and he took all the toilets out in these instances, but this time he's on the ground here as he does this, but it still looks so sick. A few reaniman toilets try to attack from the back, but upgraded Titan Speakerman uses his blaster to blast them out of the way, and his jetpack smoke to fry one that is trying to sneak under him, and he then blasts another one to the side. Then, as another one approaches upgraded Titan Speakerman, he grabs his mouth and spreads it wide open as he begins to send a bass blast out to this reaniman toilet and all the other ones surrounding him. But if you notice, the sound frequency of the bass blast has even changed itself, which really is a cool upgrade for sure. Titan Cameraman stands up and begins to watch the action where we go back to upgraded Titan Speakerman with the remaining reaniman toilets coming close. But upgraded Titan Speakerman charges up his core and blasts them, killing them all off at once. Suddenly a teleport sound can be heard, which makes upgraded Titan Speakerman turn around where he sees more reaniman appear, which makes Titan Cameraman step forward to try to help in this battle. Even in this injured state, upgraded Titan Speakerman stops him, because now it's his turn to protect his best friend in a successful manner. Also, we see that upgraded Titan Speakerman now became a little bigger than Titan Cameraman, which is cool to see. Also, this might mean that Titan Cameraman is now the smallest Titan in this multiverse. Now, this is where the scene changes, and we see upgraded Titan Speakerman grab his guitar, which is actually also an axe, which is such a cool look, and Dom Studio had previously mentioned that they wanted to give him a guitar, but making it look like an axe was such a cool and unique move too. The metal-sounding music continues as they reaniman toilets fly forward, and that's when upgraded Titan Speakerman begins to send out blast waves from the guitar, which makes this scene one of the best scenes ever. As we all know, the song which Titan Speakerman is playing is "Everybody Wants to Rule the World," the song of the Speakerman, and it's definitely my favorite song also, so I agree with my Titan. The reaniman toilets can't handle the sounds of the beats as the music continues into the chorus from upgraded Titan Speakerman, and soon enough, as Titan Speakerman finishes off with the "Everybody Wants to Rule the World" line on the guitar, they fly away since the sounds hurt them. We look back to Titan Cameraman, who was bopping his head and dancing. You can tell that he was enjoying the music as he looks over to upgraded Titan Speakerman, who puts his guitar away and looks at Titan Cameraman. The scene goes back to Titan Cameraman, who does the thumbs up while nodding in approval, and upgraded Titan Speakerman seems to say something to Titan Cameraman before he looks over to upgraded Titan Clockman, who waves his hand at upgraded Titan Speakerman since he is glad to see him, and upgraded Titan Speakerman does the same wave back, and a thumbs up. Upgraded Titan Speakerman then looks back at Titan Cameraman, who seemingly got repaired again by upgraded Titan Clockman since his miniguns are back, which we didn't see, but it most likely got done off screen. Anyway, they look at one another, and they nod in synchrony before Titan Cameraman begins to fly off, along with upgraded Titan Speakerman following right after. The scene goes back to upgraded Titan Clockman, who can now see the pencil copters coming into view, and behind him is C-Pen, who will never see the Sams after episode 34 part 2's flashback. Anyway, he looks at what upgraded Titan Clockman is doing, and he says, "Situation understood, your clock companions are on the way." I think the clock companions are most likely going to be the ones who will full-on deactivate the bombs within the shield. I think either the future large clockman will go ahead and do it, or we'll see a brand new assassin clockman who will be doing the mission. C-Pen steps forward and then stops, as he says the following lines. We hear some strange noises. He says, "Strange signal. Continue the fight without me. I must go somewhere." This is such a very weird scene because when we first met the C-Pen, he was a totally innocent robot who was happy to work with the pencilman. But very recently, and most notably in the flashback, he's been acting up and being weird, and there could be an actual theory behind this behavior. What if the signal he's been picking up in this episode, and the previous one, is coming from Alpha's master? Perhaps C-Pen really is innocent, and is being controlled by the master of Alpha, who is sending him a signal to meet, and he can be taken over by the Spider and become the next counter-Titan. It would make a lot of sense since it would mean C-Pen then becomes fully evil and fights against the Alliance, and it's very clear that Dom Studio are going down this route. Even upgraded Titan Clockman looks at him confused as we see C-Pen march off in the direction of the signal, which shows that upgraded Titan Clockman knows or senses that something is off with C-Pen. The next part of the episode is a secret scene that Dom Studio wanted to put in the full version of 34, but it didn't go to plan, so they put it at the end of 35 instead. We go back to episode 12, where we see the moment the black teleporting smoke appeared, but we never got to see who it was during that episode. but it was very evident that it was Titan TV Man since his name was mentioned on a tablet in episode 15 before future large clockman appeared, and we heard him speak as the screen went to black, which is exactly what happened in episode 66 of the original series. In this scene, it confirms that it was Titan TV Man who has appeared and smiled at Titan Cameraman, who gives him a thumbs up, and then he steps forward where he says, "This will stay confidential," and then begins to teleport out with the then unconscious body of Titan Clockman. The scene changes once again, and we see some Skibidi toilets in Base 3, in the same room from episode 17, where the Alliance and some association members found the second Skibidi Apocalypse folder. Except back then, the room was in red alarms and lighting. I'm assuming because the Momo toilet had broken free and was attacking everything. Even the Skibidi toilets, as we saw her munching on a Skibidi toilet in episode 17, when POV camera woman first entered this very room. Anyway, we see Skibidi toilets like the taser toiler from episode 13, who are killing off some pencilmen who have infiltrated the base. It seems like pencilmen are weak to fire and electricity, and when they die they become regular pencils, and that's why we saw some pencils on the floor in episode 17. Those weren't actually regular pencils, they were pencilmen. I'm really impressed, and this goes to show how carefully Dom Studio think of every single detail. Anyway, we see the human Isaac Kleiner scientist from episode 33's flashback, who is looking at the computers and holding the Skibidi Apocalypse book that we saw from previous episodes when it was the horror toilets era, which does indeed entail that this place is the same place from episode 17 where the book was found, because it was in this very spot where TV Woman found this very particular book. A mutant Skibidi toilet steps forward to the taser Skibidi toilet to show him something when another mutant Skibidi comes into the room to tell them something. The mutant Skibidi that is with the taser Skibidi steps away, and on the clipboard we can see the Momo toilet that was in episode 17 in this very base 3, and I talked about her coming into contact with Camera Woman and also TV Woman, but also Momo toilet was killed off by Elite Clockman. However, this shows that this was the place where the toilets were containing the Momo toilet, and eventually she must have escaped and went rogue on everyone there. The mutant Skibidi toilet goes outside to join some other mutant Skibidi toilets, as they all look forward and see Alpha walking towards them. This feels really weird considering she's now dead, but it's an interesting flashback to say the least. They all look at one another before Alpha says, "Be not afraid, I'm not your enemy. In fact, we have a common enemy. Obey me, and all of them will perish." One of the mutant Skibidi toilets begin to crack their knuckles, and the other brings his weapon out as they both step forward to take out Alpha and begin running towards her. But she brings out her trusted orb and uses it to zap the two running at her, sending them to the ground. The third mutant Skibidi toilet begins to use his radio as he says something, which brings out the Jigsaw toilet from behind Skibidi Base 3, and he was likely the one guarding this base until they brought in the Garador toilet from episode 17. The Jigsaw toilet asks Alpha if she wants to play a game. This is a classic line from the Saw movies. Anyway, Alpha replies with "Fools will always think they have the upper hand" as she puts the orb above her head and opens up a portal, which brings out the Counter-Titan. The three mutant toilets look on at the scene, and we can see that the electrocution the other two mutant toilets got did do some damage, as one of them don't have their sunglasses anymore, and the other has broken sunglasses. So, they watch the battle between the Counter-Titan and Jigsaw toilet. The Jigsaw toilet goes to saw the Counter-Titan's arm off, but the Counter-Titan punches him and slaps him, and the Jigsaw toilet doesn't even get to use his lasers, because he loses when the Counter-Titan blasts him back down the toilet, as if he just flushed him, and then he sends the remains of him through the portal before the Counter-Titan steps foot inside, and the portal closes, probably destroying the remains of the Jigsaw toilet also. The scene goes back to Alpha, but then we see someone new put their hands on a mutant toilet's shoulder, and then they walk into the scene, and it's none other than Male 09, from the multiverse of beatbox created by Dafook Boom. It seems both Male 09 and Male 07 are here, and they are both on the same side as mutant toilets, and some differences in their appearance. For example, Male 09 looks more like a detective toilet here because of the fedora hat that he is wearing, and he also looks like he has an Astro Claw arm behind him, but it is hard to tell. Also, he is bigger than the other mutant toilets, so this guy is clearly important in the Skibidi toilet race. He might as well be second in command, with Male 07 being the commander. Male 09 walks over to Alpha and then stops close by to her, where he says, "Now, There's always an easier way, don't you think? This pleases Alpha, who says, "Finally some wise creature, wise enough to know when to beg," which begins to make her laugh, and she tells him I'm impressed. Male09 replies and says, "I don't know, I guess I have Riz, they say." You're not wrong, Male09. Despite being a very serious character overall, it seems like you are the Rizziest mutant toilet of them all. He might actually compete with the Rizsaw mutant from the original series from episodes 62, 66 and 71. Alpha doesn't look as amused, or she is amused by his reply. It's hard to tell, but she says, "Keep doing that. My master would let you all live as slaves." Alpha walks past Male09 toilet as the door opens, and the scene goes to looking back at Male09, who says, "Master, huh? Research is required." Male09 then says to one of the mutant toilets, "You, disgusting creature, tell Male07. I will be gone for a while," as Male09 walks off, which ends the scene. Wow, that was an incredible episode, and probably the best one Dom Studio have so far produced. Not only did we get some incredible fighting, but we got upgraded Titan Speakerman the Rockstar and one hell of a flashback. Since Male09 he'd be gone for a while in this flashback, I do think that he is close to returning in this series in present time, and maybe he will be the one to witness how C-Pen becomes the new counter-Titan, as he then sees who the Master really is also. But that's just a theory, a Skibidi Multiverse theory. What did you think, friends? Did you enjoy the episode? If you did, write them, and any theories you have in the comments, as they are always welcome. Also, I have a Discord, where you are welcome to join, and you will see Skibidi leaks and be able to chat to the community I am building. Thank you for watching my video. I was Obsidian, and until next time, my friends.